Welcome, everyone, to Awakening Spiritual Intelligence. Today's topic is purpose. I'm Pauline. I'll be our tech host, and I will hand it over to Yosi Amram, our host for today.
Yeah, thank you, Pauline. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for attending to all the details and sharing this fun music with us. And thank you, brave souls who joined us in the dancing. It was fun to move and see others move and feel our aliveness. I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think it's good night for you in the UK. We have all time zones, but basically, good life is the main thing. And thanks for joining us here today, wherever here is. It's good to be with you. So, the purpose of our meeting today is to look at the issue of purpose, or more precisely, the spiritual intelligence capacity of purpose. And this might sound confusing. The purpose of our meeting is to look at the issue of purpose. And I made that not so funny joke on purpose. So, all of that is to say that when we speak of purpose, there are many levels and layers, and I'll speak more about that in a moment. But before we go there, let's take a moment. I'm gonna switch to gallery view myself, and I invite you to do the same, just so we can look at the mandala of souls and people and faces that have gathered here and that are interested in deepening our understanding and living out our purpose and our calling. Um, Now, to help me and perhaps all of us to get more present, I will practice one of my quick presence tricks and protocols, and you're welcome to join me if you'd like. And it will just take a minute. And if you choose to, you can close your eyes or simply soften your gaze and downward. And just begin by uh, wiggle tap the big left toe, and then wiggle tap the right pinky, and wiggle tap the left pinky, and wiggle tap the right toe, and wiggle tap all toes, and wiggle tap all fingers. And now fingers and toes together, sensing hands, feet, arms, legs, sensing the verticality of the spine, breathing up and down the spine, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, releasing the jaw, the tongue, the shoulders, sensing the pulsating flow of blood through the arteries, the veins, and the heart, listening to the heartbeat, sensing the entire body and the space all around. Listening to the silence underneath all sounds, the silence from which all sounds arise. Now we can open our eyes and look at the gallery view again. And what do you see? What do you notice? What shifted, if anything? And perhaps you could type a few words in the chat, how you feel in the moment, if anything shifted. And what's it like to be here in this field of presence, connected with people from all over? And you can also type in a few words of your intention for joining us here. So we got slower, more open, grounded, really curious about what tonight will bring. Less running thoughts. Okay, well, I'm anxious that I cannot fully connect. I wish you a lovely evening. Okay, well, you can hang out with us as long as you want, and it serves you, and we won't be offended um, if you need to disconnect or close your eyes or your ears or whatever. Um, so, as I said earlier, purpose is not as simple as it sounds. It's not like you discover your purpose once and then you're done. You just live your life with that sense of purpose once and for all. As a kid, my purpose, my primary purpose was to play and have fun. And then as a teenager, my purpose was to kiss and date girls and have some sex along the way. Now, unless you think I've completely outgrown those, let me assure you that I still like to play, have fun, and enjoy sex. But they're still all important dimensions of my life, but they have shifted, and even these same words mean different things. So, while I still enjoy sex today, I am much more focused on what I call passionate, sacred love with my partner, and it's a whole different orientation and sense of purpose and meaning to the same what seems like physical activity. And so, as it imbues it with meaning and depth, then there's more fulfillment, there's more meaning, and the purpose of it shifts. So, speaking of that, by the way, soon by the end of the month, we will be unveiling the si-relationship.com website that will focus more about this whole notion of sacred, um, passionate, sacred love in relationships. But let's get back to where our main topic here today. And as I was trying to say, as we learn, evolve, and grow, um, you know, the same things kind of our sense of purpose shifts, and even the same things, the same words mean very different things and take on different dimensions. So when I was a kid, from a work perspective, I thought I'd want to grow up and be like my dad, who was the CFO of a hotel. And that gave me the privilege of coming to the hotel pool with my friends, and none of my friends or people around had access to a swimming pool. So I thought that was the coolest. And I wanted to offer that to my kids someday. So I thought, okay, I'm going to grow up and be uh, a finance guy in some hotel, and my kids would get to enjoy that. And then as I grew up, I got interested in philosophy. I thought maybe I'm going to be a philosopher. And then I realized it wasn't very practical, and I was also good in math and science. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be some kind of engineer or innovator. And then I got interested in leadership. So I thought, okay, I can combine my interest in technology and innovation and leadership and be an entrepreneur and start and build companies. And, that would be my fulfillment. And I also thought that that would be great. It will give me some money so then I can go back and actually study philosophy and spirituality and all the things. So, as I'm trying to say, is the focus and my purpose and what gave my life meaning and direction has shifted. And in many ways, I appreciate all these chapters or segments on the journey, and they all brought me here and they've enriched my life. And I don't think I could have done I could do the work I do these days without that. So it's not like I should have realized my ultimate purpose that is going to be at this age when I was younger. It naturally evolves and shifts, and I think that's a healthy part of life's evolution. Jung said it, the psychologist. We cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning. For what was great in the morning will be little at evening, and what in the morning was true will at evening have become a lie. Now, as I said, maybe those are strong words, become a lie, but maybe may I would say shift and take on different meaning or not be so relevant. So, but all of that really relates to the question of motivation and what motivates us. And Freud argued that our primary motivation and drive is our id, as he called it, and it's really driven by the pleasure principle. So, we're just biological animals underneath it all, and we're just driven by pleasure. And now, to his credit, he also said later in his life that the good life involves, uh, good work and love. So it kind of he brought it back to that. And others since then that followed him, like Adler, thought that our primary motivation is power. And then object relations theorists have postulated that our primary motivation is connection. And then others like Viktor Frankl have focused on the issue of meaning and that we are, as human beings, we're meaning making creatures, beings. And then from a spiritual perspective, spiritual teachers will tell you the purpose of life or the meaning would be to get enlightened, to realize our true nature. And you might also add, or I would add, actualize that true nature and embody it. And in religious language, some people might say our purpose would be to connect, to know God, and to serve God. If you excuse my use of that word, which some people find problematic. But at any rate, you can call it God, you can call it the oneness, you can call it the divine. Um, so that would be the spiritual lens, so to speak. Now, if you ask me who's right, uh, I would say they're all right. And if you said, wait, they can't all be right because they're all saying different things, I would say you're also right. Now, the reason I said they're all right is I think at some level we all want all of those things. And wouldn't it be great if we can have it all? We can live with pleasure and joy and feel competent and empowered using our gifts and our superpowers to connect and contribute to others. Also, to realize, actualize, and embody our true nature, which naturally would include our gifts and talents. So, in realizing our true nature, we realize we're not separate from the whole or the one, and we naturally want to serve it, even if we don't look at it through the spiritual lens. We want to just actualize our gifts and talents, and we use them to contribute and help others we feel needed. It's like for each of us, life has given us some gifts and we want to open and use those gifts. If you give a friend a birthday gift and then months later you discover they never opened it, it's laying in the closet collecting dust, that's kind of disappointing. So life gave each of us some gifts in our birth, on our birth date, the one birth, and maybe he keeps giving us new gifts every year, every birthday we get some new gifts, and life wants us to use those gifts and use them to help others. And when we use them to contribute, we feel connected to those, and you might say remember ourselves. So we remember our nature, and we remember, meaning make ourselves member in the web of life, in the chain of being. And that's a good way to counteract a loneliness epidemic that is so prevalent in our culture and society. So there's an interesting science experiment where people were randomly won $20 or some dollar amount. And it might have been a while back. I can't remember if it's exactly $20, but some people won the money and others didn't. It's just a random thing. And of course, when people won the money, they had a moment of pleasure or satisfaction or joy. But then the people who won the money were randomly assigned one of two groups. One group was like, okay, you won the money, go enjoy it, spend it on yourself, whatever you want, buy yourself a gift, buy yourself ice cream or a nice lunch, whatever it is. And then the other half were instructed to go and use that money to help somebody else or give it to someone that is in need. And so, and then at the end of the day, they monitored the well-being of those two groups and how people felt about their day. And the people who won the money, but were instructed to spend it on themselves, did not have a meaningful, uh, sustainable appreciation in their well-being compared to those that didn't win the money in any meaningful way. So they had a momentary satisfaction. Oh, look at me, lucky me, I got the $20. But that didn't really sustain. Whereas the people who got the money and then were instructed to go and use it to connect and help someone else, at the end of the day, they had an appreciable level of increase in their well-being. So, point is that when we use our gifts to contribute and connect with others, we naturally feel better about ourselves. We feel connected. We feel that we're making a difference, that we're making a contribution. So that gives our greater meaning and results in more lasting fulfillment than a momentary pleasure. So the poet Tagore says it this way: I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. So, in other words, most of us humans seek and dream a life of joy, and we do so while we're sort of, you might say, asleep to the truth of our nature, our divine and our interconnected nature. And when we wake up to the truth of our nature, we naturally want to serve the other as we realize we're all part of the one, all cells in this one cosmic organism, where by our health and well-being depends on the health of the whole. And it's then that we find well-being, pleasure, and joy in connecting and helping and serving others. And with that sense of purpose and meaning, our life force energy is more focused and directed, and we feel inspired, connected, and empowered. And that's all very powerful. So Nietzsche says that he who has a why to live can almost bear anyhow. And I'm sure at some point, most of us really cared a lot about something and we're passionate about it, and we were willing to go through great lengths and even pain and difficulty to to get there because we were really clear that this is important to us. This gave us meaning, and we were focused on it. So it's really energizing and motivating. So, but this understanding of our interconnected and natural desire to use our talents to serve can be felt like an awakening. And we come to understand that really we're like a cell that's embedded in a larger organ, which is embedded in a larger organism. And just like in the human body, each of the cells comes from the same DNA and the same stem cell, but they all differentiate. The cell in my retina or your retina is very different than the cell in the gut or in the kidney or in the heart. And they all have a unique role and function uh, to serve. And the well-being, a cell cannot survive, by just caring for itself. Of course, it has a boundary, a cell membrane that has to maintain its integrity and well-being and so on. Um, but it has to do the function of the organ or the system it's part of for the whole body to do well. Otherwise, if the body gets toxic or suffers from some difficulty or disease or what have you, ultimately each cell is going to get impacted. And so when we are part of a community, part of a society, uh, we're invariably impacted by the well-being of everybody around us, whether it's a family or relationship or a community. And, the more open we are, the more we feel the impact of the suffering that goes around us in the world, even if it's thousands of miles away. And it's just painful to see when other humans and suffer. And I'm sure we all of us have experienced some of that, some flavor of that with what's been going on in our world. I'm not going to get political here, but I'm just talking about these as principles that have to do with the nature of our human heart. When it's open, it's naturally connected and cares and is compassionate about others. And this is kind of like, we most of us go through life thinking like we're a skin encapsulated ego. That's me, and my boundaries, my skin, and there's other objects. There's the laptop here on the desk. I'm looking at you at, and you're over there, and then there's this plant on here on my desk, and then there are trees outside. But really, every breath I take, I'm inhaling the oxygen and exhaling the carbon dioxide, and I'm exchanging life energy with the plant and the tree. So none of us really exist in isolation, and we're really interconnected. And this is sort of like a Copernican revolution. Um, that when we shift. Until Copernicus, everybody thought that the Earth is at the center of the universe, and the planets and the sun and everything rotates around the Earth, because that's kind of how it looks superficially. But then we understand that no, it's the sun is the center of the solar system, and the Earth rotates around it. And the sun, in fact, is what sustains life on this earth. And so it is with us and the oneness. We are born out of the oneness, much like the earth is born out of the sun and sustained by the sun. We're born out of the oneness. We differentiate out of it, but we're sustained by that totality. And that's sort of like our Copernican revolution. We realize that. Um, so, so while we're all part of the one, and I'm sure you've heard it at some point or another, it could be a cliche, but it's also we're not the same. And that was one of the songs we played in the beginning from U2. We're one, but we're not the same. Each of us are shaped uniquely, just like a wave or a snowflake. It's made of the same substance, of water, but there are no two snowflakes that are the same, and each wave coming out of the ocean is a unique expression of the vastness of the ocean. So, and luckily, each of us are truly unique. 14 billion years into the evolution of the universe, the history of the universe, there's never been or there'll never be another one just like you, someone that's like you with your unique talents, skills, and superpower. And some of us have a great voice, some of us are great in math, some of us are funny, some are good in computer programming, some are writers, painters, sculptors, or poets. And, you know, different people have different talents and we enjoy different things. So I might enjoy singing, but my kids often told me, Dad, please stop. And so that's not going to become my calling or my purpose, but I could still do it as a hobby. And so we need to really look at the convergence of what what our gifts are and what we like to do and what's needed in the world. And when all of those come together, that's when we find sort of the meaning and purpose and the fulfillment where we're actualizing our talents. And when we do that, we attain a sense of mastery, which naturally feels good. If we're good at something, it's very rewarding to practice it and feel effective at it. And then we're using it to contribute to others, and that connects us. And so that gives our life meaning and purpose and a sense of actualization and fulfillment. Now, as I said earlier, uh, in each stage of life, that's going to shift and evolve. And I just again going back to my story, I'm on probably my third career now. I'm on the way to I don't know where. So, it shifted from engineering and technology to business, entrepreneurship, to being a psychologist, to being a researcher in spiritual intelligence, to being a counselor, working with leaders, and working with couples. And I've learned and grown through it all, and all of it has been super interesting and sometimes difficult. Sometimes I've had many bumps on the road. I won't bore you with that. Anyway, so the point here is we want to help us all uncover and rediscover what our talents are and how we can use them and how we can bring them into more fulfillment and actualization. And that could be a gradual shift, or it could be a more dramatic shift, like when I quit my career as a tech entrepreneur and CEO and went back to school to become a psychologist. So, um, but even since then, I've been evolving quite a bit in what I am focused on. Um, so before the exercise, just a few more quotes that I find inspiring and maybe will resonate for you. Mark Twain. There are two great days in a person's life: the day we are born and the day we discover why. And then another one from another genius, creative genius, Picasso. The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. I would just add to enjoy giving it away. Want to have fun doing it, which it is. So let's see if we can all help us uncover more of our gifts so we can enjoy and sharing them and contribute to life. So we have some exercise you'll be doing in dyads here in breakout rooms in Zoom, and Pauline and I will be demoing the exercise.
Yes, I am looking forward to doing a demo, and then after that, we'll go into the breakout rooms. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put in the chat during this demo. So let me go ahead and share the instructions so you can watch what you'll be doing as well as follow along with me and Yosi. Okay, so you will be in a breakout room with one other person, and you'll each have a minute to introduce yourselves. And don't worry about keeping track of time because either my or Yosi's voice will come through to let us know when it's time to switch. So, hello, Yosi. Good to meet you.
Hello, Pauline. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am here in Northern California, and I've been part of spiritual intelligence for I think it's 3 years, a little over 3 years now. I'm just delighted to be part of this team.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, that was a short minute, but you packed a lot into it, so it's okay. And so anyway, so yeah, each of you will have a minute to introduce yourself, and I've already told you more about my life than maybe you want to hear, so I'll skip telling you my introduction, um, if that's okay.
That works for me. We'll just go to the next step, which is each of us gets 4 minutes to share a monologue about the topic of purpose. And this could include, these are suggestions, you could expand on these, but it could include how do you feel about your sense of purpose? Are you clear about your purpose? Has it been the same or shifted over time? And it could be fun to start with when you were a kid, what was your idea of what you want to be when you grow up? And is that the same? Has that influenced your life? Does it continue to? Or how has it shifted? And Yossi, because I feel like you did answer most of these questions so far in the opening, I will just demo a brief 4 minute monologue. I'll do a lot less than 4 minutes for the sake of our demo, but um, let's see. So I feel like I've been thinking about this topic of purpose for a while. I really love the Japanese concept. I think it's called ikigai, Ikigai. And it's this Venn diagram or multiple circle diagram that sort of overlaps like what are you good at? What does the world need? How can you make money? And what do you love doing? So it's just an interesting concept to think about for me. And I have been for years now. And it has shifted for sure, but there's still this underlying concept of just really wanting to share love with the world and help people to settle into, help myself and others to settle into the natural love that's always available, is one way I can word it. But that looks like many different things on the outside. It's a very like uh, almost esoteric concept, but it's shown up for me as holding space for people, coaching, also doing tech work. So it's just very interesting how it can look different on the outside. And I'm going to just end it at that for now. If I'm one of your partners, I can go into more detail, but for the demo, this feels like enough. So we'll pretend that I did 4 minutes and that Yossi also did 4 minutes. So we both had a chance to really unpack our current relationship to purpose. And then we'll move into the next part. Again, Yossi's voice or my voice will come in and say, we're switching to the repeating questions. So, Yossi, do you want to ask me the questions?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
So tell me one of your gifts, skills, or superpowers.
One of my gifts is my capacity to listen deeply with empathy.
Thank you. Tell me a way you can use it to contribute.
I can hold space for my family and friends and help them work through difficulties.
Thank you. Tell me another way you can use it to contribute.
I can help my clients to stay more present when there's discomfort or challenge and feel a sense of support in whatever they're facing.
Thank you. Tell me another way you can use it to contribute.
I can facilitate workshops and invite deep shares in a group setting and help people feel more connected through vulnerability.
Thank you. And tell me what you experience as you name these gifts and the ways you might use them to contribute.
I feel a sense of groundedness, just the concept of holding space for difficulty. It softens me. I feel like a tenderness in my heart. And at the same time, it enlivens me because I really care so deeply about being able to show up when there's difficult emotions and help hold those in love.
Thank you. Tell me one of your gifts, skills, or superpowers.
And just to clarify the instructions, so yeah, we're just repeating the same set of questions for 6 minutes with the same direction. So Yosi asking me. So we'll go through, I'll answer one more round just for the demo, but then after 6 minutes, maybe you'll do like 3 or 4 rounds of it. Then the other person gets to ask the questions. So for me, one of my gifts is organizational skills.
Thank you. Tell me a way you can use it to contribute.
I can build a lot of spreadsheets.
Thank you. Tell me another way you can use it to contribute.
I can help people plan events.
Thank you. And tell me another way you could use it to contribute.
I can keep my friend group organized with our next potluck.
Thank you. Tell me what you're experiencing as you name these gifts and ways you might use them to contribute.
I feel a sense of groundedness, and also gratitude that I can share this more practical skill that really it helps things have cohesion and come together. And I do feel this sense of grounded, like purpose is the word, but I know that's, a little bit redundant, but yeah, it just feels meaningful to me to be able to show up in that way.
Thank you. Let's do one more cycle. Tell me one of your gifts, skills, or superpowers.
One of my gifts is my ability to voice my truth.
Thank you. Tell me a way you can use it to contribute.
I can move quickly through the demo because I'm conscious of time.
Thank you. Tell me another way you can use it to contribute.
I can rest in silence and trust the silence.
Thank you. And tell me another way you can use it to contribute.
I can let the universe unfold through me in whatever way it wants to.
Thank you. Tell me what you experience as you name these gifts and the ways you might use them to contribute.
I feel a sense of expansiveness. I notice I didn't answer as literally to how to use these to contribute, use that skill. It was more of just like a free association, but I feel like it did unlock something where I feel like an openness. So I'm glad I just trusted the process.
Thank you. Okay, so I was just trying to show you how you kind of cycle through this 1, 2, 3, and then within two, there's also an inner cycle where the person's answers and you get three answers around how they can use that talent or skill to contribute. So tell me a way you use it to contribute, another way you can use it to contribute, another way. And then once they name the gift and the three ways they can use it to contribute, what do you experience as you name that? So you go through that for 6 minutes on one side, and then you switch roles.
Yeah, so after 6 minutes, we would then say switch roles, and I would start asking Yossi these questions. I'm going to put the text in the chat so that if you like to reference text as you're asking the questions, you can pull up your chat once you're in the breakout room and just scroll back to these questions. I'll do the same for the monologue questions too, just in case you want to reference that. And there's one or two more parts of our exercise. So after both people have answered these repeating questions, we're going to move into a second monologue. And it's suggested to speak to how do you feel about your purpose now? What calls to you in terms of ways you can use your gifts to contribute? And what feels like the right purpose or purposes for you at this current juncture of your life? And maybe you're not clear, and that's totally fine. Do you have any desires or intentions about how to get greater clarity on your purpose? So, Yossi, do you want to do a quick 30-second monologue on this, or would you like me to?
You're on a roll. Go for it.
Okay. And of course, in the actual exercise, you'll both have a chance. Um, so how I feel about my purpose right now, I really liked the feeling of free association and just trusting that the right words would come to me as I was speaking. And that just gave me a feeling that I don't have to always know what I'm going to do when I'm showing up and contributing. It's nice to have a rough plan, but I think I actually excel in some ways, or I at least feel more centered in myself when I allow what's here and present in the moment to emerge without overthinking it. So I feel more confident, basically. And I'm
Mhm.
excited to teach more workshops and put down my script.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it sounds like in a way your purpose also is to just show up in presence and use your talents to contribute in a broader way, whatever the moment calls for.
Hmm. Thank you. And in terms of the exercise, maybe you would have been sharing that in our debrief, because in the
Yeah.
monologue, of course,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
inviting we're not inviting reflections in the monologue per se.
Good point.
Um, but yes, after the monologue, perfect. We then go into a debrief about 2 minutes just to open the floor for discussion, for reflections, for appreciations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so let me reset this so only Yossi is on the recording right now. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute or put in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and just drop all that into the questions themselves into our chat window so that you can reference them in the breakouts. And what about for people watching the recording, Yossi? What are your suggestions?
Well, you could do this if you have a friend that wants to do it with you, that would be a great way to do it. Or you could do it on your own as a journaling. So, you could take the first, how you feel about purpose now, journal about it for 3 minutes. Another thing I do, by the way, sometimes is I just use my voice memo app on the phone, and I just speak to it like it's recording me and witnessing me. So that's another way you can do monologues. And so you can write it in your journal. And then with the repeating questions, you just do these stems. And instead of asking, tell me, you would just say, one of my gifts, talents, and superpowers is, and you write it out. And then one of the ways I can use it to contribute is this. Another way I can use it to contribute is that. Another way I can use it to contribute is that. And then after the way I feel now that I've named it is this. So you could just do it in your journal. And then the summary monologue again, you could do in your journal at the end of the whole thing. So those be some ways you could do it off the recording on your own or with a friend or a partner.
There's one more suggestion. Thank you so much, Anna, for reminding me. Um, so we could also try, if we're by ourselves, doing it with a mirror. I really love mirror work. And we can ask ourselves the question and then answer to ourselves. And there's something really beautiful that can happen in holding space for oneself and seeing and just taking in our own responses. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
Okay, so any other questions about how to do the exercise before we get into logistics? Okay, so anyone who's watching the recording, we will see you on the other side. Okay, welcome back from the breakouts.
Yes, I'm excited, dying to hear how it was for you and what came up. And
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And it's my first experience of being on a Zoom meeting and actually connecting with people, like talking to them. Yeah, I found it really, really good. So thank you for the
wow,
opportunity.
yeah,
It was really good.
yeah. And what did you learn or what did you discover about purpose and your purpose and
I was very stressed about it because I was explaining to Jeremy that I started sweating profusely, thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say? I haven't got any special talent or nothing that comes to my head. And then when it came to me, I just thought, I'm a very happy person and I'm very joyful. And that's what came to me. So
uh-huh.
I just thought, okay, let's go with joy. And it was interesting to think that I was always chasing the diplomas and always chasing the schools, was looking at myself down because, I haven't got PhD or, I'm not that high in a hierarchy. But then I realized you don't have to. And it struck me, it's amazing that you just, you can be a housewife and you can still have an amazing purpose, and even being that joyful can really make a difference, to other people and to your own life. Yeah,
Yeah, well that's
it
good.
found it very interesting.
Yeah, that's powerful insight, though. Yeah, so many of us are start out by being externally directed and sort of in this comparing mind. And like, how do I stack up against others? Do I have, how much money do I have? How nice a car, big a house? All these things. How many likes do I have on social media? And so, and that's all externally directed, which disempowers us. Then our happiness depends on how we are in relation to others, and it's really in their hands. And then you switch to being more inner directed, like, okay, what I'm really good at is bringing joy and then using that to help people around me. And it can be on any scale, and that brings joy and contribution. So, and that's in your hands. So that's empowering instead of disempowering. When we're externally focused versus inner directed, we give away our power. Our happiness, our well-being depends on others. And once we discover, okay, I don't need to compare myself to anybody else. This is who I am, and this is what I like to do, and this is what I'm good at. And then it just kind of like we can connect to the spark within. So
Yeah.
when you say, your skill or talent or gift is bringing joy, can you feel is that joy not here now or is it here?
Oh yeah, it's here. It's like bursting there. there's a lot of joy at the moment. Yeah, just
Okay.
doing that exercise, meeting Jeremy. Yeah, it's there's a lot of joy.
Okay. So what's the joy like in the body now?
Um, I think it's like here, and it just illuminates. It's
Uh-huh.
just goes around,
Uh-huh.
all around.
Okay, so it's centered in the chest. I'm seeing how you're pointing,
Yeah.
and then but it illuminates like there's a light that emanates, and I'm seeing a lot of radiance coming out your face now.
I would say it goes because I'm smiling as well, so it goes all
Uh-huh.
around.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It extends a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some people here nodding along like yes, they're seeing it. And I see that it's actually rubbing on them, and how your joy is contagious, so to speak. So it's you're spreading the joy. So going back to this place in the chest where you feel the joy emanating, uh, can you sense it? And you can even close your eyes, go inward, and see what it's like to sense that energy. What do you see, find, hear there when you
Oh, I
just,
can see it with it, even in my eyes open because I
uh-huh,
don't. It just comes to me.
uh-huh.
It's like a yellow ball, and it's got red spikes around it. That
Okay.
it's a bit like a sun,
I see
I suppose.
radiance. Yeah, a radiating sun. Okay, yellow and kind of fiery. So there's a lot of energy. So what if you feel into that, sense in that, see that, but also include your legs and your connection to the earth? What happens with it?
It's a bit like a cotton wool now I'm feeling. I don't know if it's the right thing to feel, but this
Well,
is
there's
what I
no, it
feel.
is a right because this is you what you feel. What was it, the word you used?
Cotton wool,
Cotton
like
wool.
yeah, a little
Uh-huh.
bit I feel squishy.
Uh-huh. Soft. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the ball is still there, the yellow ball?
yeah.
Uh-huh. And what's at the center of it?
It's just light.
Light. Okay. And is it yellow light?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I would say
Okay.
so. Maybe a bit, yeah, maybe a little bit whiter than yellow, but
Okay. So
very.
in the center it's white, yellow, whitish, and then it becomes yellow and then more red as it spreads out. And so where is that source of that light? Where's the center of it?
It's somewhere around the heart, I suppose, in the middle
Uh-huh.
of the chest.
Uh-huh. Okay. In the middle of the chest. So less the biological organ of the heart, but more the center of the chest, the heart chakra, you might say.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking you. You have.
I do probably, yeah, yeah. It is in
Uh-huh.
the middle of the chest, so I
Uh-huh.
don't know
Yeah.
much about chakras. That's why I was a little
That's
bit.
okay. Okay. No, that's cool. So there's a point of light, and what happens when you connect to that point of light, the source of the light in the chest?
It just feels so mine, you know.
Mine. Uh-huh. Okay. So it's like something very private, very you. That
Hmm.
it's like almost your essence or your something, your
So something, eh? My little ball of energy.
your ball of energy, like your life force. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's beautiful. And when you're connected to that, notice how you're joyful and radiant and spreading that joy and radiance to others.
I
Yeah.
never thought of it, like I've never even visualized it before that. It's quite, yeah,
Yeah.
taking me aback.
Yeah.
That I
Okay.
can see the picture of it is straight in front of my face. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really,
Amazing.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah. One more thing, though, you said in the beginning you don't think you can relate to people on Zoom so well, etc. This is a new experience. So what's it like to be relating to me right now?
It's getting out of the comfort zone a lot.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you're doing it
But
though.
I am doing it. Yeah, I am
Uh,
so pleased that I've done it.
uh,
It's good to go out of that comfort zone. I feel like it's
uh,
a step somewhere, you know?
Okay. Great. Well, I see some hearts floating here. So people love it. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
I guess that would be me. See, Anna, um, Anna had was more linked to the exercise in that what you both did and what Anna chose as her strength and talent, which is completely true, this eminence of joy, it's spiritual. And you sort of showed me the spiritual component. I didn't really help facilitate that with Anna because I think I'm more cerebral and didn't I none of my answers had anything to do with spirituality or I couldn't go there. But Anna is further along in her journey, I think, than I. And so she saw how joy and spreading joy is a spiritual act. And I am,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm
And how
envious
did
of that.
that? Okay, so you're a little envious, but you're saying, you think you're more of a thinking person, more what have you, but you facilitated it in by asking the questions, right?
That you gave me.
Yeah, okay. But your presence and those questions pointed that to her, yeah. And then when she asked you, and putting aside again, she started out saying early on she was like comparing herself to others, and whether she has a PhD or not. And now you're kind of here comparing yourself to her. So let's see if you could just just for a moment let go of the comparison and just see what came up for you when she asked you about your gifts. And they don't have to be spiritual. Let's just see what if you're willing to share what some of those gifts were and what were some of the ways came up for you that you can use them to contribute.
Well, yes. I mean, Uh, Anna was a very good facilitator, and in that arena, in that I said, okay, well, I'm going to go with I'm a good father as a skill, and she's okay. So, what defines being a good father? What particular skill there? Anna threw out empathy and listening,
Uh-huh.
and I'm playing with that as maybe those are some skills. Maybe
Uh-huh.
that is what I'm referring to.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I guess the question is what makes you a good father?
I was thinking it was that yes, I do listen to my kids. Yeah, Anna nailed it. Listening to
Uh,
them.
and you love them? I mean, when you listen, do they feel, does your love come through? I'm imagining. Uh-huh.
I I certainly feel it. I hope
Okay,
they do as well.
okay, okay. So one of your capacities is love and listening. Uh-huh. Is that capacity to listen and love here or not here now?
It is here.
Okay,
It
so
is here.
see if you can just connect to that capacity of listening and love, or maybe you can listen to the quality of love. Combine the two, listening and love, listening to the love that's already within you, or your capacity for love. Yeah, yeah. So you took a, uh-huh. So you took a breath. What did you, where can you feel that love? What does that love feel like?
I'm honestly still in my head. I'm in my head about it. I'm
Okay. What thoughts
trying
do you have
to,
about your um
like what like I'm still thinking about what is the quality of a good father. I'm not feeling it.
well, you
I'm not
said listening and love, right? So let's if you're willing, imagine a scene where you're around your kids and you're listening to them.
Yeah. And when you originally mentioned that, it was fleeting and I felt it and then it
Uh-huh.
was gone. So if I can sustain that moment,
Yeah.
I'll try. I'll do that.
Okay. Imagine you and your kids in your chest as you're sitting and listening to them. Maybe they're on your lap. Maybe you're putting them to bed and reading to them. I don't know. However you connect. And so breathe into that image in your chest as you're holding, listening them to them. What do you find in your chest now? How's your chest feel?
It takes so much energy to stay there, first
That's
of all.
okay.
And
You
I
don't,
I
yeah. If you come and go, that's okay. Yeah.
I would say it come and goes. And because I'm kind of caught up with like, okay, what is the right answer or what is the articulate way to say it or something like that. And if I just stay there,
Yeah, stay with your chest. Yeah.
um, just a feeling of like nothing else kind of matters. And this is
Nothing else matters. So there's a sense of significance. Is your chest feeling open or closed?
it feels open. Yeah,
Okay.
it
And is it warm or cold?
warm.
Okay, so just sense into the open, warm feelings in your chest. And forget about even calling it love. Just warm feeling in the chest, openness. This is what matters. Yeah. And what happens to your mind now? Does your thoughts continue to race or is it slowing down?
Closed down.
So, okay, so warm, open chest. Okay. And so when you feel the warm, open chest, can you also sense your feet on the ground?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. So what happens then?
Um, I guess I just feel feet on the ground.
Uh-huh. And the warm and
Nothing more.
open chest, warm and open chest go away, or can you go back and forth or include both?
I can the feet. I can. Well, I guess I feel the warmth and the openness
Uh-huh.
with them, and I keep having to return to it. And I
Yeah, well, that's how we do it. We meditate. You focus on some part or some mantra or whatever, your breath, and then your mind comes and you flow it
yes,
out, and then you come back and
it's going a lot like my meditation goes. Yes.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, this is an interesting object of our meditation for you. If I can suggest it, is this warm, open-hearted feeling towards your kids, or love, shall we call it? And see what happens when you stay with that sensation. But I'm noticing a shift in the quality of your presence and energy. You seem a lot more settled and peaceful. Is that fair?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
You think so?
And
Uh-huh.
Anna can tell you, I came across as neurotic in our this
Uh-huh.
not dialogue, but I do feel more grounded.
More
And
than.
maybe the feet did that, but I didn't make that connection. I don't know.
Okay. And how is it to relate to me here and see me, see you in a place of warm-hearted, warm and open-hearted, settled? Can you see me, see you when you are more settled and grounded and warm and open-hearted?
Honestly uncomfortable
Uh-huh.
that I guess
Yeah, you're uncomfortable. You're not familiar with this situation or this way of relating to adults. Maybe it's okay to be warm and open-hearted with your kids, but to walk around in our world with strangers, you didn't know me, whatever, 2 hours ago, and to feel open, warm-hearted with strangers, so to speak, is not a typical thing we go around. Most of us would advise against it because we get hurt easily. So, but here you are doing it. You're uncomfortable and you're speaking your truth. You're still being truthful and
trying to be. I'm trying to, yeah,
yeah,
to answer honestly and feel honestly without some of the layers that I'm very good at,
yeah, okay.
whatever that is.
Yeah, so you're aware of your layers and you're peeling them one by one. You're unwinding and letting it unfold. That's the journey we all do. I mean, I still have my layers that of defenses and shall we call it simply BS. Um, it's more to discover and more to let go and more to rest in our pure essence or that point of light at the center of our chest that Anna so beautifully demonstrated for us. So,
May I ask, do you think that's uh do you see Anna's answer and it's just easier for me to focus on Anna rather than myself.
uh-huh.
But do you see Anna's purpose as the purpose or one of many purposes?
Well, it's really up to her. We can ask her if she willing to. I'm kind of reluctant to whatever, but as I said in the talk, I think we can have many purposes. It could be an overarching purpose, and then under that, our purpose might be to bring more love and joy into the world. Just for example, to spread love and joy or spread love and peace, one of my purposes. But within that, I can want to be a loving father, which I am. I also want to be a loving partner, but it's still within the umbrella of spreading love, joy, and peace. So
Yeah, I agree.
is it one or is it many? I mean, is it, yeah.
No, and it's entangled in everything, I suppose. But it's nice to give a perspective into that. It's doesn't really matter, and that I do have that special skill, and it can be used in a variety of places, and it doesn't make me feel like I'm smaller than everybody else. It I feel amazed how it shifted my point of view, my mindset
Uh-huh.
that I've been struggling for so long. Oh,
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm so delighted. And then, you think, okay, your superpower skill is spreading love, and that's your purpose. But then you might have a job or a calling or a career, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but you could be working in a corporation, you could be working as a coach or as a therapist or as a whatever, and you have a purpose, a role in that environment And you don't even have to talk about it as love. It may not be appropriate, but people are going to feel that energy, that joy, and that light. And so that skill of love and your purpose of using it to spread love in the world can express itself in many ways with your family, with your neighbors, with your coworkers, with whoever you're relating to. So, to your question, Jeremy, I think it's not just a one thing. It's I don't know, it's a multifaceted diamond, maybe.
You did answer that earlier in some of your quotes and some of your, yeah, in some of what you were talking about in the introduction. You did say it could be one or both, or there's no right answer there.
Yeah.
I think I'm in a mode where there is one purpose. And I was mentioning to Anna, I do need to let that go because it hasn't served me well in that I haven't found one purpose. So it could be many.
Yeah. It's good to see that. Don't limit yourself. Yeah. So what do you experience now as you say, focusing on one exclusively doesn't serve me, and maybe I can relax to open up to more. What's it like now?
I, it feels like an epiphany of sorts
Epiphany. Okay.
that I I sort of held to the idea that a purpose is a North Star of some kind, and if I could just find my North Star, I will uh, things will go much smoother for me.
Hmm.
And I've been looking for the North Star for decades, so I should just let it go
Hmm.
and trust in maybe a constellation.
Okay. Maybe your North Star is trust and letting go. I don't know.
Hmm. Maybe. Maybe.
Okay. Well, it's good to be laughing here with you. And so, for better or worse, we're sort of at the end of our time for today. So I appreciate you sticking through it, and I get that it's not a familiar uh, exercise you do all the time, and but you've dipped your toes in the water, and hopefully you're still alive, and maybe you'll risk it your life again. Join us next month.
Thank you so
For
much.
sure.
Yeah, so
Thank
Ria's
you.
going to share what the next month is here.
By yourself.
So next month we'll be meeting on the 17th of July. The theme of higher self. Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to find out how to find out all the things you're going to know in the future now. And save yourself a lot of trouble. If you knew today what you're going to know tomorrow, wouldn't that be nice? Maybe your higher self knows. Okay.
Thank
Thank,
you, guys. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you for especially given the time zone and what have you. For
Is
staying.
it gonna be the same about the same time, the next one? Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad that works.
Mm.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all, and have a great weekend.
Thank you
You
so
too.
much.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank
Thank
bye
you.
you.
bye.